Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to 5 to Thrive Live. I'm Karolyn Gazella, and I'm here with my co-host and good friend, Dr. Lise Alschuler. Hello, Lise. How are you? All right, Lise, I think you're muted. All right. Lise, are you there? Well, Dr. Alschuler happens to be at a conference right now, and we may... Oh, yep. I think she is tied up with her mute button. We're having a few technical difficulties. But she'll be with us. I know her, and we're going to figure this out. She's at a conference in Las Vegas, Nevada, and she will be with us shortly. I'm super excited about our show because it's actually Dr. Alschuler's area of expertise. And
I'm back.
Hey!
Wow, that was strange. I couldn't. I can't actually look at anything besides the screen that I'm on in the studio, Karolyn, just so you know. So,
okay.
You know, that is what it is. Sorry about that. I left you hanging there for a moment.
Yeah, that's okay. No worries. No worries. I was about to introduce the topic, so thank you for coming back on. So anyway, Lise, how are you?
Now I'm much better.
Okay,
I'm
good.
Great. I'm here talking with you. We're going to talk about one of my favorite topics tonight, which is, near and dear to me, naturopathic medicine. So I'm excited. How are you?
I'm great too, and I love this topic too. I have been in this industry since 1992, and the first couple of doctors I met when I was doing research about natural medicine were naturopathic physicians. So I am just so thrilled to be, even though I'm not a naturopathic doctor, I'm so thrilled to be a part of the naturopathic medical community since the 90s. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, well, I think, you're not a doctor, you sort of play one on the radio, right?
I do. That's what I tell people. But you know what? Before we dig in, I am going to thank our sponsors because we love our sponsors. They've been with us forever. I'd like to start with Cetria, a patented form of glutathione, clinically proven to raise blood glutathione levels. Glutathione is the master antioxidant and the body's primary defense against free radicals. It also helps support respiratory health. For more information, visit cetriaglutathione.com. Also, cognizant acetylcholine, which is nature's way of keeping the brain's energy-producing centers firing on all cylinders. If you're looking for a way to enhance your brain function, including memory, focus, and attention, look for Cognizant, Cognizant on the label, or go to cognizant.com for more information. ProThrivers Wellness Brain is a product that contains Cognizant as well as other brain-supporting nutrients and herbs. You can find ProThrivers Wellness Brain online at pureformulas.com. There's also ProThrivers Wellness Sleep, which combines higher dose melatonin and other sleep supporting natural ingredients specifically designed for thrivers. You can find ProThrivers Wellness Sleep also at pureformulas.com. And Dr. Ohhira's Probiotics. It's a best-selling probiotic for more than 30 years, and it contains 12 probiotic strains that are shelf-stable. So no refrigeration is required because of a unique 3-year fermentation process. It's a very effective probiotic. Learn more at DrOhhiraprobiotics.com. Okay, Lise. Now, I wanted to talk about naturopathic medicine because even though we've been covering this for a lot of years, there are still a few important misconceptions that I'd like to clear up. And you obviously are the perfect person to discuss this topic. You're a highly respected naturopathic physician, trained in oncology. You teach other doctors about medicine. And now you're the president of Sonoran University, which is a leading naturopathic medical school. So you are perfect. So I'm going to be interviewing you. What do you think of that?
Well, I love that you say I'm perfect. I'll just keep that.
Okay, well, let's get started. Now, my first question may not be a true misconception, but it is confusing.
Hmm.
So, as I mentioned, I've been doing this for a lot of years. And I have never come across the term napropath, Naprapath, until I moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico, about 6 years ago. So, what is a napropath? How does that differ from a naturopathic doctor? And why did it take me so long to hear about them?
So I had never heard of a naturopath until I moved to Illinois, to Chicago specifically, because I believe still the only school of naturopathy is in Illinois. And it's actually quite different. It's only really similar in terms of the name, kind of. But
Hmm.
a naturopath is somebody who in a holistic way addresses musculoskeletal issues and how musculoskeletal issues connect to whole health. So it's not a chiropractic physician, but it's more similar, I think, to chiropractic than it is to naturopathic, except in name. And there's not very many naturopaths. I believe they do have regulation in Illinois because they're a very old profession there, but they're really very far and few between. Otherwise, in contrast, naturopathic medicine is a very old tradition of medicine. Some would argue it precedes allopathic, or what we call conventional medicine, because it really emerged from the a combination of European herbalism, um, indigenous healing, some knowledge from Ayurveda and traditional Asian medicine, kind of combined all of that and was really, in some ways, the predominant form of medicine before conventional medical schools were established. Back in that time, it was known as eclectic medicine or physiomedicalism. And it started to evolve. And then, as conventional medical schools were established, which really focused on treating people using drugs, is what kind of the distinguishing feature of allopathic medicine back in the day. And so then that what was then the sort of eclectics and physiomedicalists stayed more on the natural side of things. And over time, it evolved into naturopathic medicine. Today, modern naturopathic medicine is a profession in and of itself and somewhat similar to conventional medicine in the education, especially the first 2 years. So students have to do their pre-med courses, have a bachelor's degree, then they enter into naturopathic medical school, which is a graduate program, a 4-year program. And there are about 6 schools that offer naturopathic medical training in North America. And the training in the first 2 years, very similar to that of conventional medicine. So students are learning how the body works, essentially biochemistry, organic chemistry, physiology. They take labs, just kind of all anatomy, all the things that they need to know about a human body. And they start to learn the philosophy of naturopathic medicine, which I'll talk about more in a moment. And then their second 2 years is really where naturopathic medicine training starts to differ from conventional medical training, because as conventional medical students are going into their internships and rotating in hospitals, typically the naturopathic medical students are learning how to apply, they're starting to learn about disease, same sort of understanding in terms of what diseases are, how to diagnose them, but the treatments that naturopathic students learn is very different. So we learn about how to use the healing power of nature to stimulate the innate healing capacity that we believe exists in every person. And we try to find the least invasive, most natural ways possible to stimulate that healing potential within each person. And we finish our school, then there are residencies available for some of our graduates. We don't have required residencies because, unlike conventional medical students that have to go through residency to get licensed, those residencies are funded essentially by Medicare. And naturopathic medicine doesn't have access to Medicare funding yet because we're not licensed in every state. And so Medicare covers all states. So therefore, we can't access Medicare funding, so we can't require residencies. But we do have privately funded residencies available for about half of our graduates. The other half either go into their own practice, join a practice, and of course, before they can practice, they have to sit for a 3-day licensing examination to make sure that they're safe and competent. And then they can go out and practice and do their wonderful work in the world.
Yeah, that was a great overview, Lise. Thank you.
Mhm.
So, what are some of the misconceptions regarding training and licensure? Because it seems like when I'm talking to people, they don't understand the educational component. What are some of the misconceptions regarding education and licensure?
Well, I think as I just described, the education of a naturopathic doctor is quite rigorous, and there's lots of similarities between conventional medical school and naturopathic medical school. For example, at Sonoran University, where I'm the president, our students get very nervous at several points in their education when they're kind of entering into very universal between naturopathic and conventional medical school kind of exams. For example, we have these standardized patient exams called OSCEs, where actors play patients and students have to demonstrate their skills. They have to take one part of their licensing exam during their education. So there's a lot of rigor in naturopathic medicine. And then, of course, once they finish, they have to complete over 4,000 hours of training, seeing patients. They have a minimum number of patient contacts they have to have, which are, of course, supervised patient contacts. But there's a lot of education that goes into, and training that goes into being a naturopathic doctor. And even though the therapies that we use are ostensibly less dangerous than those that a conventional doctor uses, we're still dealing with sick and ill individuals. So it's very important that we have very well-trained, astute individuals who know how to diagnose disease and who know when it's appropriate to recommend diet versus sending a patient to a surgeon, for example. So that requires a
Hmm.
lot of training.
Hmm.
And I think that one of the things that gets confusing too is that our origins come from herbal medicine and nutrition, things that a lot of people have access to. So there are also a group of people that are called lay naturopaths. These are individuals that are self-taught or may have done an online kind of correspondence type of education, and they might, in fact, provide some recommendations to people. That's all fine and good. Those individuals are not naturopathic doctors or naturopathic physicians. To be a naturopathic doctor, you have to go through this federally recognized and accredited, programmatically, regionally accredited school or program of naturopathic medicine. And that's really just sort of a level up, if you will, of
Yeah,
doing things.
Yeah, and that you hit the nail right on the head, and that's what I was looking for because the biggest misconception is that the training, the education is not as rigorous, but it is quite similar, and it's very different than somebody who gets a naturopathic certification online. Very, very different. So thank you for clarifying that. So when I talk to people about naturopathic medicine, sometimes they say, well, there's not really any research that really substantiates this form of medicine. Of course, you and I know that that's a huge misconception. So tell us more about the science behind naturopathic medicine.
So the science has evolved so much. I think that first of all, there's a lot of science about or on many of the what we call modalities that we use. So an naturopathic doctor is trained to use diet and nutrition, botanical medicine, dietary supplements, can use various physical therapy or manual medicine techniques, hydrotherapy, all these different things. each of those modalities has a growing body of research that has helped us understand more about how they work, who they work best for, when they work, how to use all of these therapies in a more sophisticated, individualized way. So there's most certainly a very large body of evidence for the therapies that naturopathic doctors use. And really, a lot of that evidence is, or the research is coming from the naturopathic schools. It's coming from naturopathic-like training programs globally. It's coming from academic centers across the world. So it's coming from a lot of different sources. And so what I like to say about naturopathic doctors is that we apply evidence-based natural medicine or evidence-informed natural medicine. And that's very important because, when even though there's a sort of misconception that, because it's natural, it's automatically safe. And that's actually not the case. Anything can be toxic, of course, in high amounts, even water. But the idea is that because something's natural in and of itself doesn't mean that it's inherently safe. Number one, it needs to be used in the right dose at the right time. Number two, it has to be used in the right person. So a natural therapy used in somebody that really needs a different kind of therapy becomes an unsafe therapy. And number three, there are some natural therapies that do, in fact, have adverse toxicities or interact with other things. So these are all the kind of things that naturopathic doctors have to learn. So we have to be evidence-based in how we apply our therapies.
Yeah, that's why the training is so important. And I would agree with you on the research. Of course, I've been covering naturopathic medicine for decades, and I've seen that research increase dramatically over the years. So I like to let people know that this is very much science-based, but I like your term, evidence-informed, which is what naturopathic medicine is all about. I want to switch gears a little bit. As I mentioned in the beginning of this podcast, that you have a new role. You are the president of Sonoran University in Arizona. It's considered a leader when it comes to training future naturopathic doctors. So tell us a little bit about Sonoran, but mostly I want to hear from you. What excites you most about this new position of yours?
Well, thank you for asking. I'm very happy to answer this question. So, Sonoran University of Health Sciences is in Tempe, Arizona, and we've been around since 1992. We offer a naturopathic medical program. We also offer a master's program, Master's of Science in Nutrition, and a Master's of Science in mental health. And we have several certificate programs as well in areas related to those degrees. And it's a vibrant community. And what I love most about Sonoran University, well, let me actually back up and say that we have about 500 students, almost 600 students. We have a campus in Tempe that's quite beautiful. We have a medical center there, so we offer naturopathic care there. We have a research institute, the Rick Scalzo Research Institute, where we do botanical analysis. And so there's a lot going on at the university. And what I love about the community of our learners is that these are individuals that are very committed to dedicating themselves to understanding and applying the healing power of nature. And we have some values at Sonoran, and there are things like we love, we achieve excellence, we are resilient. These are the kind of values, and we don't just have them on the wall, we actually live these values. And it's a remarkable community. I've worked in many places that are amazing communities, but I have to say Sonoran is quite unique. Every staff member that I've interacted with, every employee, every student has this sort of shine to them when I ask them about why they're here. And invariably they'll answer with, well, I'm here because I want to be a part of the healthcare solution for tomorrow. I love, like an employee will say, I love that we are helping to graduate amazing naturopathic doctors, nutritionists, mental health counselors. I love that I play a role in that. The students are just amazing. Some of these students have known they've wanted to be a naturopathic doctor, for example, since they were in high school. Like these are full-on committed individuals who are very committed to the health of the human community. So for me, those are all things that resonate deeply with me. So I find this to be just such an exciting, exhilarating, really opportunity. It's a big job.
Yeah.
Lots of challenges every day. I have not had one moment of boredom, but I am just so excited and so grateful every day to be a part of this. I really am.
Yeah, and I've known you now for over 30 years. You are a big thinker. You think big, you do big things. So what does the future hold? What would you like to see happen for naturopathic medicine in the future?
Hmm. Well, so I have a lot of
Oh,
the, yep,
uh,
did I?
I, yep, you cut out. So you said I
Uh,
have a lot of.
big ideas, and I
Okay,
got a
good.
phone call right as that happened. So I for Sonoran University specifically, I feel like Sonoran will be the global epicenter for natural healthcare. And there's lots of ways in which we are going to become that, but it's really through our dedication to the healing power of nature and to augmenting that through our academic offerings, our clinical offerings, and our research offerings. So that is well underway at Sonoran University. I'm very excited to be leading that effort. Naturopathic medicine in general, I feel like the profession itself is on the cusp of a big thing. So right now, 26 states and jurisdictions in the United States license or regulate naturopathic medicine. So just over half. So our next big hurdle as a profession is we have to get universally licensed and regulated, because then we have access to all sorts of federal programs. The access to people or people's ability to access our care expands enormously when that happens. So that's a big next step. And I think that we have, the profession has a lot of efforts that we're putting forward to make that happen on a state level, and the momentum is there. I think globally there's tremendous amount happening globally with natural medicine and naturopath, sort of different countries' versions of naturopathic medicine. And we in the US are starting to connect ourselves more and more with our global brothers and sisters. And so that there's really a community of naturopathic medicine, which is starting to coalesce and to really preserve the important contribution that natural medicine has to the health of humanity. And here's where I think it's very important for people to kind of think about. There is this thing we call conventional medicine, which is amazing. I mean, if I was in an accident, the hospital is where I would want to go. And, we talk a lot about people with cancer, and we are advocates for getting good conventional treatment. So there's absolutely a critical role that conventional medicine has. But the system of conventional healthcare is not sustainable. It's exorbitantly expensive. Physicians are burning out, nurses are burning out. The experience for the patient is getting worse and worse. The whole system is kind of imploding. And so, in a way, the fact that naturopathic medicine has been on the outside of that imploding or sinking ship is actually, I think, kind of a good thing, because what we have to do is we have to continue to grow so that we're ready to take all the people that are looking for health. And as they're jumping off that sinking ship, we're ready to greet them and to greet them with health and wellness. So I think that, what we are doing is emerging in a very important way alongside the conventional system that is going to have to do some major rework in order to even survive. And so there's kind of this interesting pattern of a little bit of destruction happening on one side, growth happening on the other side. And then together, I think those processes, we will get to a place, I hope, where maybe not in my generation, but maybe in the next generation, somebody who's sick or who's ill can actually have the option to seek sort of care and support along this continuum of care. And so that our part of the continuum is there kind of, and we're building it stronger.
Yeah, it seems like there's an opening and there's an opportunity for naturopathic medicine. Okay, so one last question. We only have a couple minutes left. If there is someone listening who is on the fence and thinking about seeing a naturopathic physician, what 1 minute final advice do you have for that listener?
One thing I like to say is that naturopathic doctors, and I just want to say, other practitioners of holistic and natural medicine, like the nutritionists that we train and the mental health counselors that we train at Sonoran, all of these people have the idea that I want to find what is working well in you and support that. I want to build your wellness. I want to build your health. That's a very different orientation than a conventional practitioner who's going to say, I want to find what the disease is in you and eradicate that. Both things are important. And, naturopathic doctors, for example, can certainly help to eradicate certain diseases, no doubt. We're very good at that. In fact, better than conventional medicine in certain arenas. But I think what's really different about a naturopathic medicine orientation is that in the process of disease eradication, we are all about finding out what's working well and building that. So rejuvenating health in an individual. And that is something, if that appeals to you, that's what I would say. You need to see an naturopathic doctor.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that is the key difference. And this has been an amazing show. Lise, where can people find out more about Sonoran? What's the website?
Yeah, I'm going to give a couple websites. So if you want to learn about Sonoran, it's Sonoran, SONORAN.edu. And if you want to find out about naturopathic medicine, you want to find a naturopathic doctor near to you, you can go to the Association's website, which is naturopathic.org, and you can find a directory there. And then most states also have a state association of naturopathic medicine. So those would be some good places to head. There's one other place, if you're listening, you're interested maybe in exploring this as a career, you can certainly come to our website. You can also go to aanmc.org, which is a organization that represents all of the naturopathic programs.
Yes, and on the consumer side, for just general information, naturemed.org is an organization, the Institute for Natural Medicine, that I write for. That's a great website as well. So some great resources there. Well, Lise, this has been a wonderful show. Thank you so much for helping to clear up some of the misconceptions about naturopathic medicine, a form of medicine that you and I both love. And now I'd like to once again thank our sponsors. First, ProThrivers Wellness Sleep Formula, Cetria Glutathione, the superior glutathione to support liver and immune health, Cognizant Citicoline to help enhance memory, focus, and attention, and Dr. Ohhira's award-winning shelf-stable probiotic. And thanks again to you, Lise, for your wonderful insights.
Well, thank you, Karolyn. I just want to point out that you were given what was the award called that you were given for the Champion Award? Champion Award. Yes, you were given a Champion Award from the American Association of Naturopathic Doctors for your consistent championing of naturopathic medicine and natural health care. So thank you as well.
Well, you're welcome. All right. Take us home, Lise.
All right. Well, I hope you all enjoy your night. It's time to thrive. Have a beautiful night, everyone.
Have a good night.